We know that computer science is everywhere, but we wanted to delve into a field that's a little bit closer to our hearts, and that's the field of economics. Now, typically people think that there's little overlap between the two fields. However, we disagree.
Now, economics is the science of choices, with microeconomics focusing on individual firms and macroeconomics focusing on governments and nations. Most people associate economics with money, which makes a lot of sense because economic analysis helps to inform a lot of financial decisions, like what price to sell a good at, how much tax to put on a good, and so on.
On the flip side, we have computer science. Boiled down to a few words, it's the studies of principles and uses of computers. Computer science is used all around us, from our laptops to our cell phones to our car displays. Coding powers the apparatuses and machines that we use every day. And we see computer science applied everywhere, but we don't always see the intersection between computer science and economics.
So let's think. What are the commonalities between computer science and economics? Where are the connections? We actually see interactions between computer science and economics frequently, even if they aren't easy to see. Think about online shopping, for example. You're using a coded website or program to make a transaction as a consumer. Here, computer science and economics are clearly at play.
Online banking is yet another example. You're using a computer-based program to make banking transactions and handle finances. Yet another way computer science and economics are related. But if we get more technical, a lot of the skills that computer scientists possess are very relevant to the field of economics and to economic analysis.
Like what?
Well, computer science and programming require individuals to solve complex problems. You need to be able to take a problem, consider possible solutions, and implement the solution that maximizes effectiveness and efficiency.
Oh, so problem-solving skills are needed for both computer science and economics?
Yeah, think about it this way. If you're coding to solve a problem, you're utilizing the same skills that you would need if you were performing economic analysis. And if we consider some of the most famous economists, we can see a trend in the way they work too. Think about Adam Smith or John Maynard Keynes. To come up with such innovative ideas, they had to be capable of analytical thinking.
I see. And so analytical thinking is also important to computer science?
Oh, word. You need to be able to analyze the problem you're given and think of solutions. Analytical thinking goes hand in hand with problem solving.
You know, I can think of other ways that computer science and economics are related.
Like what?
Computer science can be used in economics in a number of ways. We all know that economics involves a lot of math. You need to make calculations about prices, GDP, aggregate demand and supply values, surplus, and more.
So where does computer science come in with that?
Well, at some point, the math gets really complex, and human error is a really prominent concern. Computer science and programming helps eliminate this human error in economic analyses. We can program computers to perform economic analyses for us.
How else can computer science actually be used in economics?
Economics deals with a lot of data too. Whether it's microeconomics, studying individuals, or macroeconomics, studying governments, countries, and aggregates, to perform economic analyses, you have to analyze extensive amounts of data.
So I'm guessing, like before, it's better to have computers do this than humans?
Definitely. Data compiling performed by computers is extremely valuable to economics. Creating mathematical models is another function that is facilitated by computer science and essential to economics. Economists use mathematical models frequently to predict market changes and transitions in the business cycle, as well as to predict price changes and fluctuations.
Not to mention that computer science also depends on mathematical structures, like binary, right?
For sure. Computers depend on basic math concepts, like binary, to function. Not to mention that computer scientists also create mathematical models through code, exactly the kind that can be applied to economic theory. One of the biggest focuses of the interconnectivity between economics and computer science is game theory. Game theory in economics helps to determine actions and strategies for competing firms to ensure mutual benefit. Game theory can also be applied to computer science in regards to creating computer applications. Game theory informs making computer games where a CPU interacts with the user, because strategies need to be anticipated and pre-coded prior to user interaction.
Games can definitely be applicable to both fields, especially because mechanism design is so important to computer science. Now, mechanism design can be defined as the design of systems that result in good outcomes when used by agents. mechanism design applies to markets in economics because we always want a market that will result in good outcomes for economic agents like you and me. However, mechanism design can also apply to the development and applications of computers and computer programs.
So game theory and mechanism design are more common themes under the umbrella of economics and computer science?
Makes sense. Now, we should also remember that economics can make contributions to the field of computer science, just like how we've talked about how computer science contributes to economics.
You're
Computer industry, just like any other industry, is fueled by economics.
right. Economics greatly influences the behind-the-scenes portions of the computer industry, from helping firms to determine how much and what amount to pay to produce new technologies, to helping predict consumer demand for new products.
Consumerism is always critical to innovation, meaning that economic markets are critical to computers and therefore to computer science. So I think that it's safe to say that while it may be hard to see, there are important connections between computer science and economics. Computer science is going to be essential to economics in the years to come, as we learn to harness computational power to fuel economic theory and analysis.
And if we think about it, some institutions are already fully recognizing that connection.
That's true. A number of universities have begun to offer majors that dually focus on economics and computer science. Brown University, MIT, NYU, and many other top institutions have pioneered this area of study, and it's becoming increasingly popular among students.
This is because, as mentioned before, the skills and applications common to computer science and economics will forever be relevant to society and useful professionally. From the skills needed to master work in both fields, to using actual programming and computer functionality and economic analysis, computer science is everywhere.
And it's definitely in economics.